So let's talk about IDEs, Integrated Development Environments. Why are they important when you're learning Python or trying to code in Python? A lot of you found this video because you've just downloaded Python on your computer and you're trying to figure out how to actually write the code and have the program run, how to have the computer digest what you're writing. And this is why you're probably looking for the best IDE for Python in 2024. So the first question to answer is, why do you even need an IDE? There are many code editors and very lightweight and simple ones that you can use. You can even use some online that have compilers, which means that they just transform the Python code into a format that is digestible by a computer and can be executed by a computer, which means you can code something, hit run, and it's actually gonna run it for you, and you'll visually be able to see exactly what it's doing. So why do you need an IDE? Well, let's say you're working with more advanced code, or you have a lot of code, or you're building out an app. You need a more complex environment so that you can test and debug the actual code. What do I mean by debugging? Well, debugging is a very critical part of coding. This is where you go line by line and you test your code, and you are able to see where the errors in your code lie, and that will help you to go ahead and fix any errors that are occurring. Now, aside from just testing and running your scripts within the IDE, another reason you want one is because it's going to be more efficient in the workflow. There will be smart completion, so you'll be able to complete your code much quicker. There's also going to be web development capabilities. It's going to help you integrate with many other tools and frameworks, and if you want to take Python to the next level or even become a Python professional, you're going to need a more professional style IDE. And this is why I highly recommend and feel that the best IDE for 2024 is PyCharm. It's great for both beginners and intermediate and advanced coders. And honestly, when you initially get PyCharm and you look at it, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to be like, what the heck am I staring at? There are so many things here. I don't even know where to start writing. I don't even know how to test. I don't even know how to debug. How do I add extensions to it? And honestly, I know you're going to feel that way because I felt that way when I first downloaded PyCharm, and I was like, what am I staring at? Where do I get started? How do I run and test things? How do I add extensions? Why is this such a highly touted platform as an integrated development environment? And the reality is, the more I used it, the more I realized why that's the case. And I want to put out tutorials and show you exactly how to use PyCharm and how to work more efficiently and have a streamlined approach as a coder in Python. One of my goals for 2024 is to absolutely flood this channel with Python tutorials, because it's something that, even though ChatGPT came out and everyone's afraid that we're not going to need coding anymore and Python is dead, I don't believe that to be the case. I still think that it's such a valuable tool to have in your back pocket. Even if you're not going to be directly a Python coder, knowing Python is really going to give you a competitive advantage, honestly, regardless of what industry you're in. If you know Python well, that is going to serve you really well. And if you don't like something or something doesn't exist, you can just code it out yourself and integrate it into your workflow. And that's amazing. And so with that being said, PyCharm is the one that I highly recommend. If you're just looking for a Python compiler, you can just go online and say write and run Python code online, and you will see a bunch that just exist as a website that you could click on, type in some Python code, and it's actually going to go ahead and run that code for you. That's the simple way to do it. But if you want to stick around and learn some more about Python and coding and stuff, the next tutorial will be how to download and navigate PyCharm for 2024 for Python coding. And then I'm going to sprinkle this channel with a bunch of Python tutorials here and there. We're still going to do a lot of the AI stuff. And speaking of AI, Python is the #1 language that's used in artificial intelligence. And so that's all you have to know about Python to realize that it's still a very valuable language and it's going to be used for many years to come. So with that being said, I appreciate you for sticking around and watching this video in its entirety. I will see all of you in the next one.